Tens of thousands of people participated in the Women's March on Washington in downtown D.C. on January the 21st. The march took place one day after President Trump's inauguration. While participants marched for a wide variety of causes, it marked the beginning of a year in which the conversation about women's rights and their role in society got louder and louder.
And we have to keep fighting.
These are 5 breakthroughs since the march. The march was the first in a series of protests that swept the country. Some were women-centric, such as A Day Without Women and the Handmaid's Tale-inspired protests. Others were broader in scope. The March for Science called on scientific freedom without political interference.
No conceivable justification
for blocking an actual investigation.
And the March for Truth called for an independent investigation into alleged collusion between President Trump's campaign and Russia. Sexual assault allegations against Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein gave way to other revelations of abuse in entertainment, media, politics, and sports. Under the banner of Me Too, women have come forward to share stories of sexual abuse.
I think the Women's March played a role in allowing women to see what happens when we lead, what happens when we kind of take those positions and lead our nation into a conversation and into a movement that is being led by women.
The Me Too movement gave rise to the Time's Up initiative, started by a group of women in the entertainment industry. Time's Up is a legal defense fund to combat sexual abuse of women in the workplace across industries. The organizers of the Women's March on Washington put on the Women's Convention in Detroit in October. The convention focused on progressive issues and strategies for organizing against President Trump. Actress Rose McGowan, one of the first to speak out against Harvey Weinstein, addressed the convention. It was her first public appearance since the scandal broke.
Because what happened to me behind the scenes happens to all of us in this society, and that cannot stand, and it will not stand.
There's been a surge in women showing interest in running for office, according to groups such as Emily's List.
And so within 13 hours of coming back from the Women's March, I reached out to our county party to run for office, and I wanted to know how could I get more involved.
The increase in women candidates is largely being seen in U.S. House and governor's races and driven mostly by Democrats. In Virginia, a record 28 women were elected to the House of Delegates in the state legislature in November. When Congresswoman Maxine Waters repeated the phrase, "reclaiming my time," during a congressional hearing,
Thank you very much for the community there.
I don't want to take my time.
I also have appreciated the opportunity to meet with you
my time.
several times
Reclaiming my
when
time.
we were doing.
it resonated with many exasperated women, especially Black ones. The country later paid attention when Black women turned out in record numbers in Alabama's special Senate election in December. 98% of Black women voted for Doug Jones, making him the first Democrat elected to the Senate from Alabama in 25 years.